Hey Virgos, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be doing your first half of July general reading here. So just briefly about your meditation. It's interesting. The first thing that I'm getting is a resistance to change. Okay, resistance to change. As we know, the only constant is change. And it does make sense. It's a very human feature, as it were, to resist change, as it were. It directly speaks to, that root chakra business of the need for stability and to feel like we're always going to have our needs met and to feel grounded and the comfort in, a set schedule or certain, predictabilities, right? Not in the mundane aspect, but certain predictabilities can be of great comfort, right, to us as human beings. I saw the image of a spiral. It was a glass spiral, okay? And I saw glass blowing, which I don't know very much about, but I saw the image of someone blowing glass, like creating glass figures or whatever those are, by a lake. And I saw the movie The Lake House, which I believe stars Sandra Bullock, and she's receiving letters from someone else another time or something like that. I saw, being sort of stuck within this certain spiral, right? This unwillingness to break outside of this spiral. And it's like this desire or this need to, it's like this going back into old patterns or wishing things used to be the way that they were, or trying to return back to a time aspect of yourself or reality that predates your current given reality or timeline. Okay. So this speaks to a larger collective energy, right? This is completely understandable. And even outside of the collective energy, at any given time, we could be in that place. So there's a lot of change all at once. There's some big changes that we know need to be made or asking to be made of us. It is oh so human to go, oh my God, I just, wish I could go back. Which is also why, there's this saying in this medicine of really enjoying where you are at any given time, right? Why do they say that? That the present is a gift. Why do they say that? Because I just saw 222 on the timer, because the only constant is change. So all the more reason, right, to be here in the now. Then I saw this sort of pick hammer coming down on the glass spiral. I saw the Virgo collective sort of repeating this pattern in this spiral, right? And I saw this glass pick coming down and breaking the spiral, and the Virgo collective stepping out of it, going and standing by a lake. I see this beautiful lake in these mountains. Going and standing by this lake and going, oh, well, this is so much better than that spiral. This is so much better than how anything was before. I was just afraid because it was the unknown. So then I saw you, Virgo, standing there and then mastering it and growing bigger and bigger and bigger. It feels like some of you guys are going to be in a new environment, a new job, new relationship, something very new that is requiring you to step out of your comfort zone in order to embrace it. Once you do, things are going to be so much more fulfilling than before. I'm hearing this quote. Someone else got this. Oh, I don't know who else got this, but one does not discover new lands without consenting to lose sight of the shore for a very long time. I just saw 333 on the timer. One does not discover new lands without consenting to lose sight of the shore for a very long time. And the reward on the other side of this, full energy of like taking the risk and because but I don't even want to say risk. We always have choices, but this repeating of the spiral or wishing things can't be how they were before in whatever context this is I'm picking up. They don't want to be, right? It's like eating stale bread. It's like, no, go get you that fresh loaf. It might be a different loaf than what you're used to, but it will be fresh. And you're going to, there's room to fall in love with the new loaf, right? There's really something in that for you. Yeah, I keep hearing it. It's the reward is going to so far outweigh what you perceive to be any risk that it's going to be so beautiful. I almost see you kind of laughing to yourself and going, wow, this is so much better than I ever could have imagined. I really almost thought myself out of a good thing. I almost thought myself out of these happy changes that I've manifested. There's a word freedom that's coming through. So you guys got the beaver. I feel like you guys have gotten the beaver recently for my workhorses here. This is, you know, the animal energy that represents working. So I'm not surprised. You know, I'm also drawn to the fact that this is a water energy too, with a land animal. I mean, the beaver obviously straddles both water and land energies, but I consider beaver to be a land animal because they live predominantly on land but work with the water. So I feel like these two energies of land and earth and water are coming through for you. You know, the beaver, the personality type of the beaver is, oh, and I saw the lake. Hi. I mean, they deal in rivers, but, you know, go with me with the water. The beaver can really enjoy the evening's recreational activities, whether that's having, you know, a nice lemonade on the, you know, or sweet tea on the porch, or, you know, whatever, hanging out with friends or whatever. Having a nice pint of cider or something, if and only if the day's work has been done, and if that work has been fulfilled and all the I's have been dotted and the T's have been crossed, right? The beaver's like, I'm ready to play because I put the work in, right? Ain't nothing wrong with that, right? But it's also this aspect of the work has to be, or it wants to be fulfilling at this point. I feel like you're hard workers. There's no real lesson or karma around, you know, you're about to learn what it is to work hard. You're about to learn what it is to work smarter and not harder. I feel that. But I also feel like you're about to see that fulfilling work. It's almost like you get this real taste of it and you're like, oh my God, I will never go back to the way things were, where I placed importance on things like how much I made or how much acclaim or how something looked, how a job looked or sounded when I answered. Because what's the question people usually ask? Like, what's one of the first questions? Like, what do you do? Right? And there's this feeling of like, you know, liking the response and then being open to go, well, I may not either have an answer to that for a while and I'm in between things, or changing my answer, or coming at it from a place of like, I'm about to place my, you know, fulfillment and how content I feel and the pride I take in what I do above the monetary, you know, aspect of it. Okay, I can't. Did I not tell you the full energy? Did I not just say? Okay. We are starting off strong, my Virgos. Look at the yellow. You know, I want to point this out too. With this yellow, this can be the dawn or the sunset, honey. You know, it's interesting. This is always an end of the day energy for me, but I'm actually getting more of a dawn energy now that I think about it, because he worked all through the night and now he's about to go get his breakfast on, and I like it, or her breakfast on. The Fool, this yellow energy here too, you know, this rules the solar plexus chakra, which governs our seat of confidence. And I do feel like confidence is a major key here as well. The Fool, this is fresh, brand new starts. Remember I said leap of faith? Remember how I said that the reward is going to far outweigh the risk? And this Fool is literally dangling off the side of this mountain. Like, yeah, sniffing that flower. This is what it is. You're being asked to take a leap of faith and trust that you're going to stick the landing. You know, the Fool also returns to a novice energy of just starting out and you know, reframing something or learning a new skill or moving somewhere new. It's a new experience. This can, okay, I literally can't. This can only be achieved. Remember what I said. One does not discover, oh my God. Is that water with mountains like I saw with the lake? I cannot, but I will. It's like one cannot discover new lands without consenting to lose sight of the shore. Like that's what this is, Virgo. Four of Wands. Are you serious? Are you serious? Someone else just got, was it Cancer just got this? Someone else just got this. Four of Wands. Happy home family. High wishes, high synchronicity points. Some of you guys could be relocating, making happy changes to your home. I do feel like it's happy. And it's so funny because this glass spiral that I saw you in, I feel like it's a quick change where you just tap, tap. Like, and that tap, tap could be as simple as a conversation had with a trusted friend or family member, maybe even older than you or has been where you are, that just gives you this, or even a child I'm getting for some of you guys, a childlike perspective where it's like, you're really overcomplicating it. I'm going to simplify it for you. Like, you know what I mean? Life is to, you know, be experienced, enjoyed. It's an adventure, right? What are you waiting for? Was the way things were really so great? Then why are you clinging on to it? Because it's familiar? Wouldn't you rather embrace the unknown and take a gamble that it's going to be even more fabulous than what you've already known? I mean, seriously. It's beautiful. And I feel like it can be a simple conversation that does that for you. I really like it. Four of Wands, like I said, happy home and family, major cause for celebration. This is also really happy partnerships as well. This could be work partnerships, but this is also domestic bliss, domestic partnership bliss situation here. The Fool with the Four of Wands, Virgos, beautiful. And I love when you come up as the beaver as well, because we all know that, you know, it's like you can really enjoy yourself the best when you know that you are on a path that means something to you. And you're doing work that means something to you, right? So we got Five of Pentacles in the reverse here. So in the upright, again, and I like that, you know, you're showing up as your earth energy as reverse this Five of Pentacles. And this is speaking to something very specific. I'm glad this came up. So Five of Pentacles is feeling separate from what you desire. It's feeling like you are quite literally outside of what or whom or where you desire. I think this is your fear coming up here. And I like that it's coming up in the third position too, because I can literally feel spirit go, and it's a 1 to the 3, or the 1 to the 2 to the 3, and a shuffle ball change and twist and pivot and turn. Like it's going step by step. Like it's leading you to this point. It's like spirit is like holding your hand, like not in a patronizing way, please, but in a way that's like, hey, you can understand this, Virgos, that it's A that gets to the B that gets to the C. And I like how they're laying this out for you. And I feel like we're following the scope of how your mind has been working around this as well, which is interesting. You consider the possibility of it. You allow yourself to get a little excited or dare to dream about it. And then maybe you revert back to this place of like a lack mentality or fear, right? And this can be just a moment in time as well, right? But this is coming up in the reverse. I really feel like this is saying, who is it? Brene Brown. You know, I love my Brene Brown. Brene Brown, she's written many a book. But she speaks about in her book, Daring Greatly, which I just got shivers. Please read Daring Greatly. That feels really important for you guys. She mentions in her book, Daring Greatly, what is worth doing, no matter how, okay, I'm butchering this quote, but what is worth doing no matter how it works out? What is worth doing even if it fails miserably? What's worth it anyway? What's worth the risk? That's what you're being asked. What is worth the risk? Hi, King of Pentacles, showing up here with the Fool. King of Pentacles is rich, wealthy. There's work all over this, and relationships. Rich, wealthy, law of attraction, master class, honeys, right? Harvest, grapes, reaping that fruit. Okay, I want to point something out here. Excuse me. Do you see that? Do you see this guy going head to head with this bull? That is the glass spiral I was saying in your meditation. It's the equivalent of that, of the stubbornness and going up against yourself and going, oh, I don't know, maybe things could be how they were. Maybe I'm not ready for this. Maybe I need more time to think about it. Maybe I'm just going to think my way right out of it. There's something here about that. But I want to point something out, because these are two different decks, by the way. In this key, do you see these? I think it might be oxen, but they kind of look like bulls too, pulling this happy cart and wagon forward. And then we have it here. It's like you get out of your own way, right? Stop trying to open doors that aren't yours. Start trying to prop up a door to the past that wants to be closed for you, right? And allow yourself to happily move into your next best chapter. This is a collective energy, my darlings. You know what I mean? This is a collective energy. And you can roll with it. I mean, look at how wonderful this is. Okay, I can't. But I will. King of Swords. This is really beautiful. The fact that it's clarifying the Four of Wands. King of Swords, beautiful air energy here. You know, this is really coming from remember when I said it could be a conversation with a friend or talking to someone younger or like a child, because we have the Fool here, that childlike perspective of like, let's simplify it. Children don't overcomplicate things. Only adults do that for the most part, at least in my experience, right? It's really we as adults that can really overthink, and especially Virgos. I'm an Aquarius, and I feel like that's why Aquarians and Virgos get along a lot of the time, because we completely understand the tendency for perfectionism, not wanting to get it wrong, and we can really overcomplicate things and think ourselves out of and into a lot. But the King of Swords, this is high discernment. This is feeling very confident and sure. But again, with this child, I really feel like you guys could be just getting some good advice or wisdom or flip of perspective. I do feel like it's a quick change. I don't feel like this is a belabored thing. I feel like this happens at a moment in time or in a short time span, and it's really effective and beautiful because your overall is the beaver, which is beautiful working energy. It kind of feels like you have a lot of golden energy around your work right now, meaning if you apply for something, right, that you feel called to apply to, like that you feel excited about, let your feelings inform where your work goes next or your approach to your work. If it feels good, if you feel excited about it, if you feel like time flies when you're doing it, that's your door. If it feels like obligation and drudgery, I don't see a whole lot of good coming out of it in the same way that it would were you to follow the feeling and engage in work or activity or hobby or relationships that truly filled you with excitement that had nothing to do with long-term dividends and thinking in terms of like spreadsheets and returns and profit loss and, you know, whatever else, right? But the King of Swords sees things clearly, communicates clearly. This is just, I'm telling you, it's like you take this leap of faith, you walk forward, and then you end up somewhere where suddenly you're ruling the roost and you're like, oh yeah, like I'm king of this new castle, darling, or queen of this new castle, yes. Like it feels like that. It's like, oh, look at you. I keep seeing this image of like, wow, look at you. Now you're like running the roost or ruling the roost. That's what it feels like. It's like that image of like you just swept into town and you're new there and you're like, oh, I don't know about this. And then you go back 2 weeks later and suddenly you're on the town council and you're running the cakewalk and you're volunteering at the fire department with the, you know what I mean? Doing their, you know, I don't know, payroll accounts for the whatever it is, right? That's what the feeling is. And I'm really obsessed with this right now because you got the 10 of Swords to clarify, the 5 of Pentacles in reverse. This is the end. This is the completion of the time of feeling separate from what you want or who you really are or why you're here. Boom. This is the end of feeling separate. This is the end of feeling on the outside of what you really desire, feeling separate from your highest and best pentacles and those loving relationships and aspects of yourself that just feel, I want to say, at peace and fulfilled. This is the ending of unfulfilling work, or work that may make you a lot of money but doesn't do much for you personally, or work that does a lot for you personally but you can't pay your bills. It doesn't have to be that way, right? This is the end of the separation. This is the end of separatism for you. Virgos, you don't know how happy I am to see it. The question is, which oracle do we want for you? I feel like let's use these lovely winged messenger oracles. A shout out to my favorite Virgo in the world who got me these oracles. Woo-hoo. Okay. Oracle for Virgo for first half of... You know, yeah. There is this energy here, I have to say, of an elder. I'm getting elder and then much younger. I feel like there's a lot of wisdom to be gleaned from those around you in your atmosphere that are elders and those that are much younger. There's something about that, okay? So I could not be less surprised that you got these two. You have the eagle. You are learning all aspects of spiritual connection and reaching new heights. You are reaching new heights. I feel like that's also corresponding with the King of Swords. You know, it's really about allowing your discernment to work with and for you, right? It's really beautiful, but it's also about acknowledging a good thing when it is one. And I feel like that's very auspicious around this 4 of Swords. And I also feel like, you know, the King of Swords is never wrong. Do you know why the King of Swords is never wrong? Never makes a wrong call. Fair and just, right? The people are coming to him for his counsel. It's kind of like the Confessor from Legend of the Seeker, if anyone read those books or saw the sadly short-lived series, which I thought, you know, should have gone on for much longer than 2 seasons, but that's, you know, neither here nor there. There's this aspect of his counsel is always just, it's always fair, and it's always on the money, right? So the fact that that is clarifying the 4 of Swords for you, this move, this change, this feeling, this new direction, it's on the money. On the money, honey. I feel like that's the eagle is saying too, because the eagle is known for clear seeing. And then we have the King of Swords here. Okay? Clear seeing. freedom as well, if you think about it. Then you have the King-Fisher, to the King of Swords and the King of Pentacles. I mean, you do have two King energies here with the, I mean, this is just blessed and highly prized. It's a very lucky time, and I really, really like it for you. So King-Fisher says, prosperity is flowing. You don't say. Prosperity is flowing. Have faith that you will receive it in the perfect form. I can't with this. Prosperity is flowing. Have faith that you will receive it in the perfect form. That is the point of this whole kit and caboodle and shebang. Okay? Virgos, this is beautiful. Trust the process along the way. Follow your feeling. Your rewarding work is right around the corner. It's in its highest and best aspect. Again, if you already love what you do, you're about to have, you know, money to show for that, or vice versa, or it's linking up with like-minded people that just fulfill your life in a beautiful way. I do feel a happy partnership here, as well as indicated by the Four of Wands. It's the end of feeling separate. It's the end of separatism. This is the time of really coming together, feeling one, and being part of a community, I feel like, for a group of you guys, okay? Either you're reconnecting to the community that you're in, or you're discovering a new one that you're like, wow, I feel like I was always meant to be here all along. It's really cool. So, yay, Virgos. With that being said, this is your first half of July general reading. I so hope that this helped and resonated. If it did, would you do me a big favor and let me know in the comments below? Because I love reading your comments. It's my favorite. It's my favorite part, truly. And with that being said, again, just thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And as always, and most of all, though, thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.